Hi, it's Rosie at RoseByNameCo. I haven't been around lately. I've been working actually on custom orders, and I just completed one large journal, and now I completed a large, a good size Lapbook. And this one is for a client in UK, and I worked with her on the color scheme and the fabrics and so on that she wanted. And so the size of this Lapbook is about 5 by 7, and it's quite a large spine, 2 inches. So this one is more in the nature themed, and it does have hills and lakes, trees, and other nature things like birds and flowers and so on inside the Lapbook. So let me just show you a little bit here of the top here and the bottom as well. And it did turn out quite chunky. It might need something to hold it closed, but when you leave it like this, it does stay pretty good. So when you open it, this is what it looks like. And I just used a little bit of ribbon that goes right through the entire spine of the book or the cover, and which opens up. And then, of course, we have this beauty over here. So let me just show you a little bit, and then I will go through it a little bit slower, because of course we want to see every single thing that's in here. Hopefully the light isn't going to bother us too much, because it is an overcast day, and I'm trying to get this done anyways, because I need to get it mailed. So in the beginning, I do have quite a bit of eyelash trim that I use throughout the book in different colors and so on. And right on the top here, I have something about the woods, a little bit of a poem here. And then, of course, something that fits in with the woods and trees and leaves and so on. So I love this sort of a, it looks like maybe one of those skeleton leaves. It is a picture, though, like an image, not an actual leaf, but I like the way it looks, so it fits right in over here behind this little folder. And the folder has embellishments and an image in the front here. And then as you open it, it has a little bit of a writing spot here, collaged, a lot of collage throughout the book. And then a little notebook over here. And then over here is a little pocket, and I tucked in a couple of things that she might use somewhere else or in the mini journal that's included. And a little bit more of a writing spot here as well. So right here we have a little bit of a pull-out page, or a hinged page, as it might be called. It has a little bit of a small one on the top here, and then some different ones over here. And let's start with the first portion of it over here. We have a butterfly here and a bit of collage. And then I printed some of the old postcards on photo paper, and just to make it a little bit smaller so that they fit into these pockets. And so lots of little pockets all over the pages. And this is a bit of plants, and then these are on cardstock from a kit that I bought. Okay, so on the top here we have a collage tag with birds and trees and this green on top. So she wanted plenty of green, of course, to go with nature. And on the back I usually put coffee stain paper that I put in and so on. And on the next page we have another tag over here. This one is embossed. I'm not sure if you can see, but it is embossed, and then I inked over it and put a little bit more of eyelash trim. Here we have ledger, and from a vintage book page. So a lot of authentic ephemera here from a book page, and different things that I have. And then this is one of the thinner postcards that comes in a stack of cards in an envelope. So this is a beautiful one of a lake, so she can dream about spring maybe. And over here in this small one is I have a pack of these tree playing cards, and a little bit more of collaging here. This is a print of a collage that I did. And then over here we have another tag, and this one I did in the theme for this Lapbook. So I do have an elk here on the hill. So she wanted hills as well, lakes and so on. So this one just fit right in perfectly. So I'm just going to put this back a little bit later. And then over here, I just included some writing paper that she might use throughout the book or the journal. And so this is a Tim Holtz here paper. And then this is a collage I did with some fringes over here. And then over here I have a page from a book about woods. And it just fit perfectly. Actually, this bear is on a postage stamp. And he looks like he's wandering right through these woods. And actually, as you open this, it opens this way. And then you can see the woods all the way down. And definitely the colors of the woods here. So he's wandering around in there. And then there's beautiful tree. Let me just show you all of it. And it's comes, like I said, from a vintage book. And then I put a little spot here to maybe jot down some thoughts. But I just love the way the branches, even though they're bare, just look beautiful. And then over here is a little tuck spot with a little bit of a journal card. And here's writing spot over here. And I just like to clip this a little bit together. And over here I put a little bit more from the branches, and then a little card here to write on as well. And it's just held together with an eyelet. This is a paper bag that I left for her to embellish, but I did put some of these eyelash trim down here. And I have these beautiful flowers that she can use. And then I also have something about logwood from a vintage dictionary. And you can check that out, what it says about the logwood. Then over here is another embossed page, and a little charm over here, a little sparkly bead, and collage fabric and strands that I like to use. And over here is a stamped tag, and then inside the see-through pocket, so there are two pockets here, is an envelope, and inside I put quite a few pieces of fussy cut items that then she can use to decorate the rest of the book, and the mini journal that's included. And on this side is another vintage postcard from the stack of postcards that go together. And then here you can see the back of the embossing. On this one here is a little bit of a notebook, and pages are a little bit together. And on the back you can write on some secret message on the bottom. And then this one also comes out like this, and you have things on the back as well. So I'm going to get to it in a moment. So over here is a collage with birds and flowers and so on. And then here is another stamp. It has lakes and beautiful forests around there. And then over here, another collage, and a few little index cards that are coffee dyed, and I put an eyelet and a little bit of trim there, ribbon. And then on this side, a little bit, looks like a receipt, I think, that I used. And more collaging, so lots of collaging, and then sewing. And here's a couple of butterflies you might use somewhere. And over here, I did forget to take out the tag. So this one is another one in the woods kind of theme, the browns and the greens and so on. Alrighty. And so now over here, so this is the first section. We just finished the first section over here on the front. And here's a little bit of a longer notebook. And in the back, she can glue something on there. And this is a little pocket, actually, for a narrow tag, which I do sometimes. So this is a narrow tag. You can scribble maybe a date or a title or something in the back. And collaged here another stamp with a little bit more of a lake, so in the theme of the Lapbook. So now here I have two, this is bound TN style, of course, Traveler's Notebook. And so I have two elastics. One is for the mini journal that I made, and one is maybe for another journal or some other piece of paper that she wants to include. So this is the journal. I will go through the journal in a moment. Let me just show you over here, and before we go to the next section over here, I have fabric, green fabric, and then coffee stained lace on top, which turned out beautifully. And then I also, this almost looks like moss or something, more eyelash trim here and on top as well. And then inside I put a little bit of a notebook. You know, it has just a flap over, so you can put a larger note in there. And then it has fringes over here, and this very cute dragonfly, which matches the colors of the notebook here. So more embossing here as well. And let me just show you the notebook first. So this is the mini journal for the Lapbook. I believe I made it just a tad maybe too big. Should have been a little bit smaller so it fits a little bit better, but it does fit. And it is sewn. Let me show you. It is sewn in the middle so that you can pull it out, of course. And once it's full, or you really don't feel you need it or anything else, you want to put something else in, so you can take it out and just keep it somewhere else. Now this is a pocket, so you can put in a tag. One of the tags that is in one of the other pockets, you can put it in here, and in the back as well, so the pocket runs right through. Of this beautiful green, it was a tablecloth that I found at the thrift shop, and I just wanted to add it to the rest of the fabric, which is more like maybe an upholstery fabric, a little bit thicker as well. And I did run this by the client. Actually, it was her idea that she wanted green on top of this one as well. She wanted the more like a fiery orangey red, and as well as some green. So I found this fabric, and we thought that was perfect. And here's a little bit of a charm, and this is a little mushroom, really, really cute. Actually, not a bad size one. I would like to have a few more of these. And so this journal is a nude journal, or unembellished anyways, as far as no inserts are inside, but I did embellish it with ribbon and some imagery and so on. So this is a pocket here as well, on both in the front and the back. And I love this checkered fabric here that I use for the inside. And then of course we have Lake and Woods right here, and a little bit of a drive-through, beautiful, beautiful lined street with these beautiful enormous trees that I found in a book. And then some ledger paper, and a lot of these textured things that I like to use, which is mostly either off some fabric or some threads that come off the machine and so on. And over here is from Edith Holden book for November, and beautiful hills over here with birds. And then in the back, a little bit of a writing spot with a cluster here. And then from a vintage gardening book, a little bit of a pocket here and some eyelash trim, coffee stained paper, and over here is a little charm with a tree. And this image here depicts beneath the water, once you're, in the lake, and what you might see beneath the water at the lakeside. And over here is another stamp with trees on it. And over here is a little bit of a cutout and some sparkly, when you go sometimes on the lake or even through the woods, when the sun is shining, you can see some sparkles. And a little bit more, I think I used some red food dye on this paper. A little bit more of marshland and lake. embossed music sheet. Another cluster over here with a button. And this is handmade paper. And paper ruffle over here. And also side pocket that works. That is like this. And I thought, well, I don't need the bottom part. I just didn't have enough to go all the way across. Let's just put it that way. And then I thought I would try this one, and it just works perfectly just as well. And then over here is a belly band with a bit of sequins, fabric in blue and ribbon, and beads that I like to put in the middle. And another image of a lake in a little bit of a sepia color, and of course some strands coming off it. And another button cluster over here. More music paper, because of course birds are always singing. And tiny frogs over here, or tiny turtles, I'm not sure. Maybe crabs, it looks like. And a turtle over here. A little bit of flip out and some eyelash trim here. A bit more of the negative from a punched out paper. And in the back here, more trees on a postage stamp. A little bit more of what's underwater while the birds are sitting on a tree on top. Ribbon, pocket, garden book, and a writing spot over here. And of course, what would a book be without more mushrooms? So to go with this mushroom actually right here. And then this is the other side of Edith Holden page. A bit more of strands. Maybe almost looks like a cornstalk or something. I'm not sure. Flip out ledger paper. A bit more of a field. And the top of those beautiful trees. And over here I have a butterfly, and that zigzag line that I like to make with butterflies on it, and some detail here as well. And then here is a pocket for a very narrow tag or something that you might have left over from cutting something. And then a little bit more detail over here, but sparkly. Over here, sparkly in the middle as well. So here's the back pocket, and so that is the mini notebook, and that goes with the Lapbook called Still. Now, I showed you this part already, so let me show you the second part over here of the different pages with pockets and so on. So here I put a little bit more of the prints of old postcards with lakes on them, and another butterfly here, and then over here a collaged journal tag with a bit of flowers and a map. And over here, let me see. Oh, here is another tag. This one is also embossed and more plain, so she can add some of the fussy cut items here, or something else that she might have that she wants to add to this collection. So now this one opens this way. So it's another hinged page, and this is the second side, or the other side of the little bit of a fussy cut flower here. And this is one of my digital collages there in purple, and then another little postcard here. And this one has a stamp that also is very similar to these colors of a lake and a brush, or maybe like a marshland. And here's just a regular tag for her to embellish, and a little bit more flowers here. So as it opens, a little bit of a spot for, you know, gluing some other collection on there. And then here as well, I almost forgot, is a vintage postcard. And look at the writing, isn't it beautiful? With a stamp, and actually it says here 1907, so it is quite an old one. And beautiful lake on here as well. I'm just going to put this in a little bit later. And here we have collage, and then a little bit of a journaling card with trees and a little bit of sequins, and more green over here. This is more of from scrapbook paper. A little bit more embossed here, and then this beautiful, this is probably my favorite part over here, is this beautiful, a little bit sparkly collage. So we got the dark greens and the goldens and light green and so on. And I mean, you can just see it, walking through the woods and seeing something like this. So over here's a couple of journaling cards of butterflies. And a little bit more eyelash trim on top. And here's a bird. She is loose, so she can be put somewhere else. And then more eyelash trim over here. And then the white paper bag. Now here I included some yellow flowers. And in the back you can see some information about the flowers. But here is a sampler of fabrics and some ribbons and so on that she can cut from and put it somewhere else in the book to embellish the journal and so on. Over here, a little bit more of a cluster and a sort of a frosted pocket and another vintage postcard. This one is blank so that it can be written on if she wishes to do. Now this page is from a book called In Search of Ireland, and it has this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful scene in sepia, the hills and rocks and lake and everything that, we would like to feast our eyes on right about now. And a little bit of trees over here. And I love that it's in sepia, a little bit different than your normal in color image. So very beautiful. So authentic from a book. And then on the other side in this pocket, I picked out some postage stamps that depict the theme, so nature theme stamps that then she can put somewhere else. And I actually made this like a little sampler from a postage stamp collections album, right? A little bit more cluster here. Then at the end here, we have a tag that pulls out, and it has this eyelash trim that goes so beautifully with it, and then some trees collage, and of course you can write on it, so it's a pocket right in the back here. That's it, perfect. And then this is like an envelope that has two pockets in here. So in the first one we have a little bit more of the images of lakes and so on, and this one as well. And this one is, the first two are printed. This is not printed. This one is from one of those postcard series. And then over here in the back pocket is just a little bit of writing spots or labels that then she can use in the journal or somewhere else to write a title, a date or something. So this is still the Lapbook that's going to UK, the custom order that I had. And I'm going to be packing it up because it is done now. And I worked on it during the month of February. So I'm going to just try to put it back in its position. And there we go. So I appreciate you coming by to see what's new at RoseByNameCo. I'm going to have some more journals coming up that I started last year, and will continue now as soon as I can. So have a great day, and thank you again. I appreciate it. It's Rosie at RoseByNameCo. Take care. Bye-bye.